I discovered my family's secret cruise. Every relative invited except me. Mom told my aunt, let her spend the holidays alone, she deserves it. 2 weeks later they were sobbing into my intercom because what pissed me off the most wasn't that they left. It was that they thought they could hide it. They actually believed they were smart enough to pull it off. That they could sneak off to Hawaii like one big happy family, leave me behind without a single word, and I'd just sit around thinking everything was fine. They made sure the trip they promised me was scheduled for 2 weeks after the real one, just far enough away that I wouldn't suspect a thing until it was too late. And they almost got away with it. The planning wasn't sloppy. It was deliberate. I can look back now and see every fake smile, every dodged question, every vague, "We'll confirm next week," they threw at me like breadcrumbs. My brother even had the audacity to ask if I'd booked my ticket yet, knowing they were flying out without me 2 days later. And the money. That's the part that still makes my hands go cold. 3 weeks before the trip, my mom called me crying, saying Dad was in trouble over some urgent house repairs and a sudden medical bill that insurance wouldn't cover. I didn't ask questions. I wired them $8,000 that same night. He told me I was a blessing. I said don't worry about paying it back. That was me being stupid, I guess. Thinking we were family. Thinking I mattered to them in the same way they mattered to me. They used my money to fund that cruise. The one they told everyone about. Everyone except me. And I wouldn't have even found out if it weren't for my cousin Lisa, who of course had no idea I wasn't invited. She sent me a photo from the deck of a cruise ship, her arm around my mom, tropical drinks in hand. Group trip. So glad we're all together. She wrote like it was a joke I was in on. My chest locked up. I didn't answer her. I didn't scream. I just sat there staring at that photo. My entire family, parents, brother, aunts, uncles, cousins, even grandma, smiling in matching t-shirts that read Family Vibes 2025. I zoomed in. There was a banner behind them that said Welcome Harrison Family Reunion. The Harrison family. That's my last name. The next day I saw my aunt, Dad's sister. She asked if I'd heard from them. I didn't say much, just that I saw a picture. She got really quiet and took out her phone. That's when she showed me the message from my mom sent 2 weeks ago. Let her spend the holidays alone. She deserves it. My mom wrote that. About me. Apparently, when my aunt asked if I was joining the cruise, my mom told her it was better if I didn't come. She said I made people uncomfortable. That I was too independent. That I always acted like I was better than everyone else because I had a stable job, didn't ask for help, and wasn't constantly broke like the rest of them. She told my aunt they didn't need her energy on this trip. Her, meaning me. They didn't just forget to invite me. They excluded me on purpose. And all I kept thinking was, if they felt that way, why take my money? My aunt was furious. She said she only went because Grandma begged her to. She'd been sick and this might be her last big family event. But she told me she regretted it the whole time. She said watching them laugh, knowing I was back home waiting for a trip that would never happen, made her sick. I didn't cry. I didn't ask for explanations. I didn't confront anyone. Not yet. I let them get through their little dream vacation. I let them soak up the sun, thinking they'd pulled off the perfect scheme. I even replied to my mom's, "How are you?" text with a chipper. "All good here. Can't wait for our trip." Just to keep the lie going a little longer. Because when they came back, I was going to remind them exactly who they left behind. And I was going to start with that money. Every last dollar. They landed Sunday afternoon. I knew the second Lisa posted her little back-to-reality boomerang of her suitcase sliding across her hardwood floor, followed by a plate of airport takeout and a caption that said, "Home sweet home after the best trip ever," smiling face with hearts. I waited until Monday morning. I wanted them to think they got away with it. I wanted them to be unpacking their souvenirs, bragging about all the excursions, showing off tan lines and sea turtle videos. I wanted them to feel safe before I flipped everything. At exactly 9 a.m. I sent the text to my mom, dad, and my brother. "You have 3 days to return the $8,000. This conversation is not optional." No explanation. No opening for small talk. Just the number and the clock ticking. The first call came 8 minutes later. Straight to voicemail. Then again. I didn't answer. Then Dad called. Then Michael. I left all 3 on read. I sat at my kitchen table with my coffee, perfectly calm, watching the group text light up with questions, confusion, deflections. "Amanda, what's going on? Why are you being aggressive? Talk to us. Please, we don't understand." They understood just fine. That first day they tried pretending they were clueless. That maybe I was confused. That maybe something else was going on in my life and I was lashing out. Classic tactic. Make me feel unstable so they don't have to admit what they did. I didn't give them anything. Day 2 they changed strategies. My mom sent a long paragraph about how things got complicated with the cruise, how they meant to talk to me about it after the holidays, how it wasn't their intention to hurt anyone. Still no mention of the money. Still no ownership of what they'd done. No apology. Just emotional fog. I responded with 3 words. 1 day left. That was the last message I sent before they showed up. Late Tuesday night around 10:30 p.m., my building's buzzer started going off. Over and over. It was relentless. I ignored it until I finally got up, hit the speaker button, and heard my mom's voice, choked up, muffled through the old system. Amanda. Please. Let us in. He just wants to talk. Please. I stared at the wall for a full minute before calling my aunt. She lived 10 minutes away and she was the only one who deserved to be there when this went down. She picked up on the first ring. I didn't have to explain anything. She just said, "I'll be right there." By the time we walked outside, my parents were still standing at the front door of my building, coats half-zipped, looking like 2 people who'd been caught breaking into their own lie. They didn't even say hello. My mom immediately started crying like tears would erase everything. My dad stood behind her, quiet, holding an envelope. They started talking fast, falling over each other with excuses. They said the trip was planned last minute. A gift from someone. They didn't think I'd be able to get off work. They said it was just supposed to be a quick getaway, and that they felt terrible when they realized how it looked. I said nothing. Just watched them squirm. My aunt broke the silence. "You told me she deserved to be alone. That you didn't want her there because she lives too well. Don't act like this was some accident." My mom froze. Dad looked down at the sidewalk. Then it all came out. Not just about the trip, but everything else they'd been thinking for years. They said I made them feel small. That I bragged every time I talked about work. That I didn't struggle enough to understand them. That I always acted like I was better because I didn't ask them for anything. And yeah, my mom admitted she didn't want me there. She said my aunt betrayed them by telling me. That's when I finally spoke. "You took my money, lied to my face, then toasted cocktails in Hawaii while telling people I didn't belong." My dad handed me the envelope. Inside was a check for $8,000. Not a word. Not a note. Just the money. I took it. Put it in my coat pocket. Then my aunt looked at them and said, "You didn't just cut her out of a vacation. You cut her out of your lives. And you still don't even realize that's what you lost." We walked away while they stood there not saying a thing. I didn't turn around. Not once. After that night, everything changed. My phone was silent for the rest of the week. No calls. No texts. It was like they'd gone underground, licking their wounds, probably waiting for me to get over it like I always had in the past. But this time was different. The switch had flipped. There was no going back. I deposited the check not because I needed the money, but because it was mine. And they were damn lucky I didn't charge interest. I spent 2 days debating whether to block them completely. What stopped me wasn't guilt. It was curiosity. I wanted to see how far they'd go to avoid accountability. Turned out not far. By Friday, the smear campaign began. Lisa texted me first. A weird, half-suspicious message. "Hey, just checking in. Everything okay? Heard there was some drama after the trip?" I didn't answer. Later that night, I got a call from my cousin Dylan. Rare since we barely talked. He launched straight into it. Said he heard I was causing problems, that my parents were saying I'd gone off the rails after a small misunderstanding about the family trip. That I was threatening people over money. Threatening. That's the word they used. I told Dylan what really happened. I laid it out, how I gave them $8,000 when they begged for help, how they excluded me on purpose, how my mom literally wrote that I deserved to be alone. He didn't say much after that. Just muttered something about being tired of their crap and hung up. By the end of the weekend, the family had split down the middle. There were the ones who believed them. My parents, my brother, one of my uncles, a couple cousins who never really liked me anyway. Then there were the quiet ones who started reaching out. My aunt, of course, stayed firmly on my side. But others began trickling in, messaging me privately, saying they didn't agree with how I was treated. That they were sorry. That they'd been told I chose not to come. My parents had lied to everyone. They told people I refused the invite. That I'd been distant for months. That I was too busy with work and didn't want to be around family. All while smiling in group photos and raising glasses to togetherness. I wanted to send a mass text. I wanted to post the screenshots, the receipts, the full story. But I didn't. Instead, I let them do the damage themselves. Because when you build a story on lies, it only takes time for it to collapse. And collapse it did. The real turning point came at Grandma's house. Sunday dinner. I didn't go, but my aunt did. He told me later what happened. Apparently, my mom tried to keep up the Amanda chose not to come act. But someone, probably Lisa, brought up the money. Asked if it was true that I gave them $8,000 just weeks before the trip. That's when it fell apart. My mom tried to spin it. Said it was complicated. My dad said it was a misunderstanding. My brother said nothing, just kept his head down. But the room changed. People started putting the pieces together. The ones who'd quietly believed me now had proof. By the time dessert hit the table, the vibe was ice cold. Later that night, I got a message from my cousin Sarah. "I'm so sorry, Amanda. They lied to all of us." My aunt came over the next day. We talked for hours. He told me she was done with them. Said she wasn't going to keep pretending they were decent people when they were perfectly fine throwing their own daughter under the bus to protect their image. And just like that, the line was drawn. It was me and my aunt on one side, and the rest of them on the other. I thought things had already hit bottom. I was wrong. 3 weeks after the split, I got a call from my old neighbor, Carol. She still lived 2 doors down from my parents and loved to talk. I hadn't heard from her in over a year. He jumped straight in. "I didn't know you were suing your family." I nearly dropped my phone. Apparently, that's the new rumor my parents were spreading. That I was taking them to court. Over a misunderstanding, of course. Carol said they'd been telling people I was threatening legal action, trying to ruin them, and that they were afraid I'd come after their house. I laughed. Out loud. I mean, I had the money. I had no interest in dragging this into court. But the idea that they were scared now, that they thought I was out for blood, that's when I realized they weren't just ashamed, they were panicking. And they should have been. Because then my aunt told me something I didn't see coming. The trip? It wasn't paid for by my parents. It was paid for by me. They used my $8,000. Not for bills, not for emergencies, but to book the cruise for the entire family. The group rate? Almost exactly $7,800. My aunt had overheard my brother bragging about how Amanda basically funded the whole thing without even realizing. So while I sat at home thinking I'd helped them survive a crisis, they were toasting drinks I'd unknowingly paid for. That night something changed in me. I'd thought about revenge before. Quiet little fantasies. But now I wanted something real. Not petty. Not loud. Just permanent. I started pulling receipts. Texts, bank transfers, everything. Not to sue them. Just to be ready. Just in case. Because I could feel it coming. One last desperate push from their side. And I was right. The next week I got a knock on my door. It was my mom. Alone. No warning, no text. Just her standing in the hallway holding a binder. She asked if we could talk. Said she had something to explain. Against every instinct I let her in. My aunt was upstairs. I told her to stay quiet for now. We sat in silence at my kitchen table. She slid the binder across to me. Inside were photos. Dozens of them. Me growing up. Me and Michael. Birthday parties. School plays. Family trips I barely remembered. She'd made a scrapbook. Like that could erase everything. Then she started crying. Said they made a mistake. That they never wanted to exclude me. That it was Michael's idea to leave me out. That he'd convinced them I wouldn't enjoy it. And that he needed the family more than I did right now. That he was depressed, falling behind in college, and they thought if they could lift his spirits I'd understand later. I asked if she thought using my money without telling me was something I'd understand. She didn't answer. Then she said something that actually shocked me. "He's dropping out. We didn't know how to tell you. We used the money because we thought it would help him hold on a little longer. He was supposed to finish. He didn't. He's been lying to all of us." So not only did they betray me, they lied to themselves too. She said they'd hoped to fix everything before I found out. That they'd planned to pay me back quietly. That they never wanted this to happen. But they let it happen anyway. I sat there staring at the photos she laid out like evidence of a past that meant something. But I didn't feel anything. It was too late. I asked her if she wanted to know the truth. She nodded. So I told her. I'd been planning to pay for Michael's last year of school. As a surprise. I'd talked to the registrar. I'd even set the money aside before she ever called me crying. I was going to tell him over Christmas. Her face broke when I said that. I stood up. Walked to the door. Told her to leave the scrapbook if she wanted. She walked out without saying another word. I closed the door. Didn't lock it. Just stood there staring at the binder. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just knew with complete clarity that something between us had officially died. After my mom left that night with her little scrapbook of memories, I didn't touch it. I couldn't. It sat there on my kitchen table like something sacred and fake all at once. Photos of birthday parties, Halloween costumes, school plays. Proof of a family that at some point maybe cared about me. Or at least pretended well enough. I wasn't interested in their nostalgia. I wasn't 8 years old anymore. I didn't want to be reminded of a past they used as a shield while gutting me in the present. I didn't hear from any of them for a full week. Not a single text. No calls. No guilt-tripping voice notes from my mom. Nothing. It was bliss. Then came the email. My dad. Formal, of course. The subject line just said, reconciliation. Like we were some kind of broken partnership and not a family that used their daughter's kindness to fund a tropical escape. I almost didn't open it. I wish I hadn't. He wrote that they regretted the miscommunication, that they acknowledged my feelings, and that they hoped we could move forward in a constructive way. Not once did he say they lied, or that they stole, or that they deliberately humiliated me. It was all sanitized, corporate, as if he was afraid of saying anything that could be used against him. I read it twice, then archived it. I didn't reply. Then came the letter. An actual handwritten letter from my mom. Left in my mailbox. She apologized in loops and swirls, told me she hadn't been herself lately, that stress had made her react emotionally. She said she missed me. She wrote that I had every right to feel hurt, as if it was just a feeling, not the result of actual betrayal. And tucked inside the envelope was a photo of me and Michael when we were little, sitting in a sandbox, our faces covered in popsicle juice. She wrote, "You were always his protector. He needs you now." That line made me sit down. Because it wasn't just a guilt trip. It was a setup. I could see exactly where this was headed. 2 days later it happened. A knock at my door. I looked through the peephole. I didn't recognize the guy at first. He gave the name Paul over the intercom. But when I cracked the door, there he was. Michael. My brother. He looked exhausted. Like he hadn't slept in a week. Hood up, hands stuffed in his pockets, eyes darting around like someone being hunted. I didn't let him in. I stood in the doorway and waited. He said he just wanted to talk. Said he knew what happened was messed up. That he didn't expect things to go this far. That mom and dad were breaking down, and the family was falling apart over a misunderstanding. He said I had turned this into a war. That people were scared of me now. Then he got to the point. He wanted $18,000. He didn't even pretend to warm me up to it. Just dropped the number like it was something I should have expected. Said he wanted to go back to school, start fresh, move out, maybe get into therapy. Said he needed help. And then came the kicker. He said, "You always made more than the rest of us. This isn't even a big deal for you." I actually laughed. Because in that moment, all of it, the vacation, the money, the lies, the fake apologies, the crying at my door, it all lined up. They didn't hate me because I hurt them. They hated me because I didn't need them. Because I'd escaped whatever endless financial hole they kept digging for themselves. Because I hadn't sunk with them. I looked at him and said no. Just that. He didn't argue. Not really. Just stood there with this blank look on his face like he couldn't believe I'd actually say it. Then I told him something I'd never planned to say, something I'd kept in my back pocket all along. "You're lucky I haven't sent the screenshots." His expression changed. He knew what I meant. I'd kept everything. My aunt's screenshots of the group chat. The photo of them on the cruise. The messages between my mom and aunt. Let her spend the holidays alone. She deserves it. All of it. I had receipts. He backed away slowly and didn't say anything else. I closed the door. And just stood there in silence. I waited a week. Nothing. No more emails. No more fake apologies. No more late night knockings. That's when I realized they were done. Not because they understood, not because they felt guilty, but because they'd burned every angle and had nothing left to manipulate. And that was the real peace. Not just the silence. The fact that they had finally, truly run out of moves. Thought it was over. Months passed. No calls, no texts, no surprise visits. It was like they'd finally accepted it. Me cutting them off, the silence, the split. I spent the holidays with my aunt that year. We cooked, watched old movies, didn't talk about them. For the first time in years I felt free. Not happy exactly, just weightless. Then April rolled around. I was at work when I got the email. No subject line. Just a blank one-word message in the body. Please. It was from my mom's email, but it didn't sound like her. Something about it made my skin crawl. I didn't reply. I didn't even think about it until a few days later when a letter came to my office. Not my home. They went through the effort of finding my workplace. The envelope was thick. Inside was a typed letter. It was short, half a page, double-spaced. No emotion, no warmth. Just a new request. They wanted $18,000 again. This time for Michael's tuition. According to the letter, he'd finally re-enrolled, had turned a corner, and was planning to finish his degree. They called it an investment in the family's future. They even attached a class schedule. Not a financial breakdown, not a payment plan, just a list of courses like that would convince me he was serious. There wasn't a single word about what happened before. No acknowledgement of the $8,000. No apology. Not even a, hope you're doing well. Just a number. A request. An expectation. I stared at it for a long time. Then I put it back in the envelope, stapled it shut, and tossed it in the shredder. It could have ended there. But it didn't. 2 weeks later, my building's doorman called me while I was upstairs. Said there were 2 people asking to be let up. They didn't give names, just said it was urgent family business. I told him no. 10 minutes later, I saw them from my window. My parents. Standing outside in dress clothes like they were there for a funeral. They were holding something. A framed photo. I couldn't tell what it was from that high up. I watched them stand there for almost 15 minutes like statues. Then they finally left. Later I got a voicemail. My mom barely speaking. She said Michael was counting on me. That I was his last chance. That if I didn't help, he'd have to drop out again. That she hoped I could find it in my heart to forgive. I deleted it. And blocked the number. I didn't tell anyone about the photo until the following weekend when I saw my aunt. I mentioned it offhandedly, how they stood out there with some framed picture like it was supposed to move me. She looked confused. Then her face changed. She said, "Was it a photo of you and Michael? At the beach?" I said I couldn't see. Why? Because she said that photo had been missing from her house. It had been in a frame in the guest room for years. She said she hadn't noticed until now, but it was gone. They took it. They stole a photo of us from her house and used it like a prop, hoping to soften me. Like a visual guilt bomb. That was the last straw. I made a decision that weekend. I was done responding. Ever. Not even silence anymore. I told my aunt if they reached out again, I didn't want to know. No updates. No emotional messages. No more conversations about what could have been. Whatever family they were before. That was dead. Now there's just distance. And peace. And that's all I need.